Sorry about the creaky chair. So I am back with a fifth video. It's been a minute since I've done one. Life just got in the way. Applying for jobs and just personal things cropping up, and then taking into account my own mental well-being. Also, a couple of weeks got delayed because I was cooking. Separate some sausages. Stitches are coming out. They're dissolving. I was holding some frozen sausages. Pulled the blade towards myself and stabbed myself in the hand. Had surgery in my hand. Caused some nerve damage. So yeah, all is well. But yeah, man. So things have progressed nicely for the last couple of weeks and months, I suppose, since I uploaded the video. But yeah, shout out to PrimeGen who did my Nero's Corner logo. Red Nahian. So much love for that. Check out my sponsors: Essex Ballyard, Mr. P's Corner Shop, ProSmart, Shruti_art, and my good friend of mine. If you're into nature stuff, check out Scape Stream. Got something interesting going with some Amazonian fish and the like. Yeah, but let's straight into it. So I haven't prepared any notes for today. Just talking off the top of my head, stuff I've noticed. So if I'm umming and ahhing, I do apologise. I know it's pretty jarring on headphones or when you're listening to it during your day. I'm really sorry about the squeaky chair as well. There we go. First one. Talking about putting the men into mental health, play on words as it were, but as a man, I've noticed some tendencies in myself that are quite toxic, and things I've gone on to change about myself. How my mentality's changed in lockdown. How different pressures and different self-imposed stereotypes are quite negative and have detrimentally, impacted me to my detriment rather than to my benefit. So yeah, let's start at the top. Firstly, the lockdown shit, and I think the inability to talk to my friends and see them regularly has really impacted me as an individual, and being caged in this house has really affected me. And I know it has for a lot of you as well. Speaking to my friends and family, they look a lot sadder. Some people, break the lockdown rules and meet up, and good for you. I know I have done once or twice, but for family emergencies. And outside, not indoors. So yeah, let's look into that. So first things first, we're social creatures. Being isolated like this isn't good for us, especially if you are someone who relies on going out to get a distraction from whatever's ailing you up here. It's tricky. It's really tricky. Like, men as individuals, we don't talk about our problems as much as we should, and then not being able to see people and speak to people makes it 10 times worse. So imagine all these feelings trying to burst out, but they've got through one layer where you may have decided to speak to someone or not, and then you can't speak to someone because you're not able to meet up with them and have that chat, because a lot of people don't have these chats about their mental well-being and what's really holding them back over the phone or over text. We try to, but we can't. They tend to be what we call face-to-face conversations. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my room, so I've got an office set up in my room right now, and it's not good. I don't like being cooped up in my room for work, sleep, and watching videos on my iPad or MacBook or screen or playing PlayStation in here. It's just not good for me. I try to get out to walk my dogs. They're not here, but it's horrible. I can't stress enough how shit lockdown is for your mental health. And that impacts you physically as well. You're less active, you're physically gaining weight, which has further impact on whatever you're feeling. It's just a compound effect. It's just like wham after wham after wham. And yeah, so that's one aspect of it. But in general, just looking at the male gender, it's hard to understand why, despite having your lads, your bros, your mates, your pals, why we can't speak to them. And just want to identify a couple of topics where I think we stumble as a gender, whereas we should look to our female compatriots and say, I mean, there's still some way to go on female mental health, but why they handle it so much better than us, and why it's always, for every 4 people that commit suicide, why 3 of them men? I'm not saying there should be more women. I don't want that at all. I just want less suicides overall. Please don't take that away from this video. Christ. Yeah. And just to reiterate, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, just a dude trying to make the world a better place by talking about my feelings, and if you relate to it, great, or if you identify in someone else, go have a chat to them. But yeah, cracking on. I struggle to speak to either my partner or my parents. Parents, okay, forget parents. My parents are from back home, so speaking to them is just a nightmare in general. Not because they don't love me, because their way of thinking just isn't in. We're not on the same page. Like what I see as normal, they see as disrespectful. It's just not even worth discussing that. But for example, my partner, she's born here. She's Indian origin, so she kind of gets it as well. My mates are all Southeast Asian. I've got English mates, got black mates, and Oriental mates. I don't speak because it's hard, you know. Yeah, I'm afraid of judgment. As someone who is a Thai boxer, you know, I've had one pro fight, a bunch of amateur fights, but you know, I live and die by my training. Even though my nutrition's not great, I'm gonna put my hand up to that, you know. And I'm always there for my mates, and I listen to them. I don't speak to my mates because, in my mind, one, I don't want to be a burden. Two, I'm afraid they'll think I'm weak, and I've always tried to be physically strong. You know, I took up martial arts to learn how to be strong, and you know, instilled in myself that I'm a bad motherfucker, that I would be the toughest person I can be, and in that is where I find my strength. But you know, being able to defend yourself from attack, or being able to attack someone and take them down and do damage, or compete in the ring, you know, is relatively easy compared to fighting the demons in here, no matter how big or small they are, you know. And demons are relative, you know, like someone might be watching this in war-torn Rwanda and going like, he thinks he's got problems, and you know what, compared to you, brother or sister, I don't. But it's more along the lines that I'm just being real, you know. Being in London, being where I am, very privileged, but still got the same mental health issues that someone else might, somewhere else in a different part of the world might. And it stems from, firstly, not talking to anyone. I've really taken it upon myself to start reaching out to my friends and my family, and not just talk about my problems, but make them talk about theirs, because I want to reciprocate. You know, I'm there for you, you're there for me, man or woman, Muslim or Christian, Hindu or Jewish, Sikh or Buddhist, whichever it is, man. I'll listen to your story, listen to mine. Let's just make the world a better place for each other and everyone around us. I'm looking around because I can't find a logical reason as to why I don't speak, and it's not something that I'm proud of. Like, yeah, I'm so good at bottling up emotion. It's a shit thing to do. Like, it's not healthy. It's not a flex. It's nothing to be proud of. And it takes me on to my next point, is that we're afraid of this stigma being put on us that we're not well. And I mean, it's a medical issue, but it's not one that's taken seriously, but it should be. I mean, it's being taken more seriously now because of generational changes, but we're in a position where it's not taken seriously. And an example is that a relative of mine, she's studying to work in the NHS, and she went to me, there's no point in doing these videos because, you know, men's health, they want to read up on it, they don't want to watch these videos. And it made me think. I was like, well, what? And when I said that's an opinion, she went, no, that's a fact. And it made me think, because if someone who's going to work in the NHS has that thought, why shouldn't other people have it? And it's quite a toxic trait. Like, I get where that person's coming from, you know, but I don't respect and I don't agree with it, because I do believe it's an opinion, it's not a fact. I think that we should take it seriously. I definitely know that there are people that want to take it seriously, but they're afraid their peers, their colleagues, their seniors, their mentors, people they respect won't. And I think there's been a big dynamic change. And if you're worried about how people are going to judge you, then those people don't deserve to be a part of your life. Your life is a beautiful thing, no matter what demons you're facing, and no matter what horrendous things are happening in your life, mentally or just, you know, just around you, you know, whatever it is. And you're going to go through dark periods of time, and if they can't understand and be there for you, then bro or sis, they don't deserve to be there for you. You know, you're for them to experience your life is a privilege on both sides. Not just, you're just not privileged to have that friend in your life, but they should feel just as privileged to have such a big impact in your life as well. So don't feel as if there should be judgment in speaking out to people, because you know what it is. A friendship means there's no judgment. It's just unconditional love you have for another person who's not related to you. And if you feel like you're going to be a burden, you're not a burden, because I guarantee you your friend would much rather, talking worst case scenario here, sit down for an hour every week and listen to how you're feeling and how you're doing, than attend your funeral one day because you might have ended your own life from the pressure that built up on you. I mean, I'm just talking about societal judgment in general. I don't think, I'm not diving into different ethnic groups judgment. That's a whole different kettle of fish. That's the first video. Why don't brown men cry? Or whichever ethnic group you're part of. I think a lot of men's mental health stems around the whole financial issues as well. Like, we're all guilty of it. Like, we look online and we want that, that BMW M8 or the Audi RS5 or the Merc C63, whichever it is, and we judge ourselves by what other men have accomplished. We judge the middle of our journey, the start of our journey, with the end of theirs, and it's not top. It's toxic, because we look and we think to ourselves, I'm really sorry about this chair, man. Let me move this shit. Let me sit here and move this. Oh yeah, the bed doesn't make any noise. Oh, the bed doesn't make any noise unless the missus is here. Ooh, she's gonna watch this and kill me, but fuck, it is what it is. Yeah, so looking at, where was I? Track of thought. Where was I? Ah, shit, should I touch that? Yeah, so looking at everything I do when it comes to worrying about, not that, it's all about money. Yeah, we look at, possessions, whether it be dough, watches, cars, clothes that people wear, go shit, like you feel so shit as a man because that guy can afford it and I can't. And we're also worried that we have this weird, a lot of men, especially young men, have this weird thing that like, I can't approach women because I don't have the things that these dudes have. I was like, yeah bro, that guy's a rapper, he's stacking loads of money, or he's a trapper or drug dealer that's turned rapper and he's got all this money, or he might be getting on credit, or mum and dad might be paying for it, or might be, and some people do get it through legit means. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. So rather than we have to change up like this peasant mindset we have, which has a really negative effect on men. It's like, oh shit, he's got that, like I'll do anything to get that. No. Focus on what you want to do as an individual, work really hard, and you'll get that. Let's not worry about what he's got. And we see this stupid bullshit that happened recently where two young men, I think they killed a young boy over a designer jacket. Yeah, but that's at the total opposite. I'm talking about your own mental health here, where we look at these things online or on these music videos that we watch and we go like, oh man, I don't have any of these things, that makes me feel worthless. Like, I get why you feel like that, because we live in a society where you are judged by the clothes that you have, like by the money in your bank account, and like the watch on your wrist and how much you're splashing on your social media. Forget that. That's not real. That shit doesn't last, because the moment you chase money, you'll never be happy. I'll say that from wrong, because Bob Marley even said himself, like, if you're chasing money to be happy, you're never going to be happy, because money's just a number, and all those numbers just keep growing. I mean, perfect example. What was it? Saudi Aramco, one of the most profitable companies in the world. Literally the definition of Arab oil money, taken over by Apple last year. You'd think they'd be up in arms or in tears, but it is what it is. Money's money. I'm not saying it because I've got loads of it stacked out. Anyone who knows me knows we go for ups and downs, but it is what it is. Now, man, men's mental health is really tough to talk about, because I go through my own shit and I have my own demons. I think the other factor that I do face sometimes is I feel as if there's something wrong with me when I want to talk about these things, and I'm going to take a deeper dive into that just to explain. I feel as if I don't have a right to feel like this. I feel as if, I shouldn't feel like this because I've got a relatively good life around me. And first of all, yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I do, but that doesn't mean you're not allowed to feel negative. You're not allowed to feel down. You're allowed to feel like there won't be any sunshine. And you know what? Because everyone goes through it. Might be situational. You might have lost a loved one. You might have lost a job. I can attest to both those things, and feeling shit as a result. And we feel this imposter syndrome where we feel we can't feel, we can't have emotions, and it's shit, because what gives, why are we so stupid to think we can't feel these things? We're all human. Everyone's brain works differently, and we have to change. And like it's just the same recurring factor. We've got to change our mindset towards this. Like, we have to accept it as a norm. We have to really, really accept it as a norm, because otherwise what happens is we're going to repress these emotions, and then we're going to try escapism. We're going to dive into drugs, alcohol, food. Like, I have problems with food, I'll be honest. Like, when I feel down, I don't go out or anything. I just sit home and munch food. I'll justify a 10k run in the evening, but boy, the weight gain is insane. It is what it is. So it's the mindset change. Our mindset is so powerful. There's a Henry Ford had the saying that whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right, or something along those lines. So the first step is to understand, to make it normal, and I can't stress enough, like, men's mental health, depression, we need to normalize it, because if we don't, there's going to be a generation, and especially after this COVID lockdown, that aren't going to be doing good mentally, and there's going to be this generational curse on men over the next coming generations, because shit's changing for the worse, and it's not going to be good. So we need to start talking, not just talking, but normalising it, asking our mates how they're doing, having those difficult chats with them, because as a friend, I think it's our duty to do that, or as a brother, partner, best mate, whichever it is. Pretty sure I just took a stitch out of my hand, which isn't great. So this is not good, but it is what it is. I need to clean that up later. The other reason is, I think it's a very primal thing, and I'm going to talk about it. It's one is we have this hunter-gatherer mindset where the men are in charge of providing security and food on the table, wealth for the family and their loved ones, so we're not allowed to feel pain or feel misery or sadness, and we definitely can't show if we do. We're born, we learn, we work, we earn, we die. No emotions in the middle. That's a typical man, right? That's what a man should be. Well, what we're told a man should be. Shit. Fam, all the stitches are just coming off. Fuck it, is what it is. But yeah, cracking on, sorry. So what was I saying? So we have this mindset where we're hunter-gatherers, and it's not cool, because it's good to be a provider for your family, but you can't really provide to the best of your abilities if you're not 100% up here. And that's where we get this sort of like negative feedback where, like, oh shit, I feel bad, I'm going to ball it up. And then whatever you're doing at work, whatever you're doing in your life, or just trying to be there for your loved ones, you just can't be, because even they notice a change, so they just treat you differently as well. So again, I appreciate that, hereditary things, and we're evolutionary things. We're like, we're the providers in a patriarchal society, as it were. But we're allowed to be weak. We're allowed to have moments of weakness. I don't think anyone should be weak. I think mentally and physically we should be as strong as we can, and we do that by addressing our weaknesses and accepting them. Everyone's flawed in one way or another, and no one's perfect. And perfection is relative. I see my partner as perfect. I think she's the best person ever, but that's not someone else's cup of tea. It is what it is, and then she thinks I am, or I hope she does, and I'm not. I want to be for someone else. So yeah, man, like a lot. It's a bit fluffy. It's hard to talk about, and it's obviously not. We don't discuss it or solve the issue in 20 minutes. But it's just to reiterate to the bros that not just the bros, the sisters as well. Like everyone goes through shit, and we need to just sit down, look to the person we love next to us, on the left or right, or the person in front of us, and just be like, "Yo, I'm feeling this way." And when you do, I can't promise that all your problems are just going to disappear, but I can promise you that you'll feel like you'll be able to cope, and then whatever that. Because I've had this weight on my chest where I've had it sitting on me, and I've contemplated ending my own life, and I've been there. I've been to those dark spots for stupid reasons, and it's because I turn around to my missus or turn around to a mate and I've said, "Yo, I need to talk to you." That they did, and it's because of that noose around my neck, not literally, but all that 1 ton weight on my chest and my shoulders lightened significantly because I spoke to my partner and my mate. And yeah, that's real experience I can give you. That's the real thing. The realest thing I could say is that you need to if you don't have a support network, start building one. Hit me up, man. I'm always happy to listen. Anyone who knows me, knows I talk for England. Literally, I talk at a camera with a mic attached to it, imagining that someone is listening. And I don't give a fuck if you don't anyway, because I'm just doing this for my own therapy as well. So yeah, man. Like we'll go through shit. If you have a friend to talk to, or you think your friend needs to talk to you, then extend that olive branch out. Olive branch is quite a deep term, given that it's a sign of peace. But sit them down, have the chat, have the tete-a-tete, as the French say, the head-to-head. And yeah, man, my Instagram's in the comment below. Drop me a thing, drop me a DM if you want to talk. If you're a total stranger, I'm happy to listen. Or if you're someone who's close, then that secret dies with me. We can have that chat. Because like I said, I'd rather spend a couple of hours in just listening to you and giving you some honest feedback than you doing something to hurt yourself, or you not being able to climb out that dark hole where the light just gets further and further away because you're going deeper and deeper down. So yeah, man, that's video number 5. I apologise if it was a bit disjointed. I haven't done it in a while, and it's something that's difficult to talk about. It's so difficult that even psychiatrists are trying to just start to wrap their heads around it now, despite most psychiatrists being men. I've been Nero, you've been amazing. If you haven't, like, share and subscribe. Drop a comment below to let me know your thoughts. Like I said, not a psychiatrist, psychologist, so anything I've said is personal and research I've done online. It's not fact. If you want to debate it with me, I'm happy to listen and give you my 2 pence on it. Lockdown's easing, but still be safe. Practice social distancing. Wear the masks when you go out. Think about the people around you. You don't know who you come into contact with, who might have a loved one at home that is, high risk. So stay safe, stay healthy, physically and mentally. Be there for your friends. Much love.